Hello, YouTube viewers. This is Collector 513 with another collection video. This collection video is of my Resident Evil collection. I do have every Resident Evil on all of the consoles. There are still a few missing, but I will update you as I go through Resident Evil games. Some of them are custom cases. Every Resident Evil collector out there is different. So I'm a different Resident Evil collector. I feel that getting all the editions, besides the collector's editions, because those are massive. They come in huge boxes, and I don't have the space for that at all. But I did buy the gold deluxe editions for a lot of the newer Resident Evil games, but there were a few I'm missing. We'll let you know when I'm missing, but I hope this helps. Resident Evil collectors out there, let's get started. Starting with PS1 Resident Evil games, all the ones that come out on PS1. Not all of them, but most of them. And I'll tell you which ones I'm missing. Resident Evil. Everybody is like, oh, if you're not if you're a true Resident Evil collector, then you will get the long box version of that. Well, that's a variant, but I still consider that I may go ahead and get that. Resident Evil Director's Cut. Resident Evil Director's Cut DualShock. As you can see right there, now it supports DualShock. This is a DualShock version. There's people out there that are like, hey, there's a black label version to that. You need to get that as well. I don't buy variants. I just really don't do it. Like I said, every Resident Evil collector is different. Resident Evil 2. And this is the original copy I had when I was a kid. And that's why there's cracks in the hicks. Yeah, I had that as a kid. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Resident Evil Survivor. And that is it for PS1. For PS1, I am missing Resident Evil 2 DualShock. I need that to be good, 100% complete. And the Resident Evil Tall Box. I want to get that. Now, my PS2 Resident Evil games. Resident Evil Code Veronica X. Resident Evil Dead Aim. And this is a USA collection. By the way, USA. All USA games. Resident Evil Outbreak. Resident Evil Outbreak. Oh, excuse me. Outbreak File 2. And the last for the PS2 Resident Evil 4. The 2005 version. Okay, there is a premium edition of this. A STEELBOOK premium edition. I need to get that. I want to get that. I didn't know about it until someone showed me a picture of it on a Resident Evil group. When I shared that picture of that Resident Evil 4 game, someone showed me that there is a Resident Evil 4 premium edition. I didn't know that. So I will get that. I will get that. Now, my PS3 Resident Evil games. Resident Evil 0. This is a custom case. This was never released physically. I do have the digital download. I 100% it. I got all the trophies. Same for this. Digital download. This wasn't physically released. This is a custom case. This is a custom case as well. Resident Evil HD Chronicles collection. These were digital downloads. Got 100%. I am a trophy man, so yeah, I believe in 100%ing everything I have. Resident Evil Operation at Raccoon City. Resident Evil Revival Selection. This is a custom case to make it look American because this was not released in America as physical, only outside of the USA region. It was released physically. Resident Evil Revelations. Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5 Gold Edition. Resident Evil 2, Revelations 2. I apologize. Resident Evil 6. And last but not least for PS3, Resident Evil 6 Anthology. These were downloadable codes. I bought this brand new at the time, so yeah, I was able to get all these. I have all these on my PS3 right now. All these Resident Evils are on my PS3. That's what comes with it. Now, moving on to my PS4 Resident Evil games. PS4. Resident Evil Origins Collection. Resident Evil 0 and 1. The 1 HD remake is on there. Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 Deluxe Edition. This has wow. I want to try to it's what it has on it. Pretty much all the DLC. Pretty much. All the DLC that came with Resident Evil 2 is on that disc. Resident Evil 3 Remake. This is a custom case. It was never released physically, but I downloaded it on PS4 and completed it 100%. Resident Evil Code Veronica X. Yeah, there is no physical release of this at all. I just got a case made to show that I own the digital version. Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 6. This version of 6 on PS4 has everything, all the DLC. Pretty much everything the gold version had. Resident Evil 4. 2005 version. Resident Evil 4 Remake. Resident Evil 4 Gold Edition Remake. This is a custom case. It does come with separate ways and other DLC content. That wasn't released physically in the United States of America. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Deluxe Edition. For those wondering, this is what comes on the Deluxe Edition. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition. For those wondering, this is what comes on the Gold Edition. Resident Evil 8 Village. Or just Village. Some people don't even call it Resident Evil 8. But the 8 is clear. It's right here in Roman numerals. That is 8. So this is Resident Evil 8. Because the 9 is Requiem. Resident Evil Village Deluxe Edition. Excuse me, wondering what's on there, so I will show what's on it. That's what's on the Deluxe Edition. Just pause the video, zoom in. For those wondering, Resident Evil Village Gold Edition. And if you want these vouchers to work, if you don't have these, or if you have no access to Wi-Fi and can't buy them, download them, buy these brand new. Buy them brand new. This is what the Gold Edition of Village comes with. Buy them brand new. Then in that case, you will be for sure that those codes are going to work. There's a lot of games that I will tell you which ones I bought. I will tell you which ones I bought brand new, so that I knew for sure the codes will work. PS4 Resident Evil Revelations. I knew for sure the codes will work. And some of those I downloaded and just bought the games to show, some of them I did. Some of them. Not all of them are customs. Resident Evil Revelations 2. And last but not least, for the PS4, this was never released physically in the United States, Umbrella Corps. But I got a custom case made, and I downloaded it, and I got 100% in trophies. Last, for the PS consoles, PS5, Resident Evil games, Resident Evil 2, Remake, Resident Evil 2 Deluxe Edition. This didn't get a physical release. I just got a custom case made for it because I have all of the content for it and I wanted to show that off. Resident Evil 3. There was no reason to open this. This is still sealed because I downloaded it. I transferred the version of my PS4 Resident Evil 3 Remake to my PS5, and I beat it. There was no reason to open it. So I just bought it for like $25, brand new, and boom. Resident Evil 4 Remake. Resident Evil 4 Gold Edition. This is a custom case. This did not get a physical release for PS5 in America, but I do have all the content, the DLC for the game. So I said, hey, I'll just go ahead and buy that. This is another one I transferred over, and I was able to play. As of now, I'm still working on this right now. Working on getting a platinum. I got the platinum for the PS4. I need a platinum for this. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition. And this is what the Gold Edition comes with on the PS5. Basically the same thing the Gold Edition on PS4 came with. Pause the video, zoom in. If you want to read that and see. I accidentally bought this. This is the exact same version of the Gold Edition for PS5 for Resident Evil 7. It was supposed to be Deluxe, but it was as a custom case. And there's the disc inside. Custom case. Resident Evil Village for PS5. Resident Evil Village for a Deluxe Edition. And this is what the Deluxe Edition comes with. Pause the video, zoom in. I'm going to pan out so you can see the entire interface of the back covered so you can see what's on there for those curious. This here I left sealed. Again, there was no reason to open this. I transferred everything and boom. There was no reason to open this. No reason. No, Resident Evil 8 Village Gold Edition. Third person mode, Mercenaries, Additional Orders, and Shadows of Rose. That's what that has on it. I am done with my PS5 Resident Evil games. I'm done with Sony Resident Evil games. Now I'm moving on to Microsoft. The first the first Resident Evil games that come out for the first 360. Excuse me, I said that wrong. The first versions of Resident Evil games that come out on the Xbox 360. Xbox 360 was the first console of the Microsoft world to receive Resident Evil games. There were no Resident Evil games on the original Xbox. None. If there were, there would have been Outbreak and 4, Resident Evil 4, and Code Veronica. They would have made those for it, but they didn't. Resident Evil 0, this is a custom case. I do have the digital download for Xbox 360, and I did receive all the achievements for the game. I did. This here is a custom case. I do own the digital download. I do own it. And I did beat it 100%. As I said, I'm a huge guy by achievements and trophies. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City. This is a custom case to make it look American. I own both of these. Resident Evil 405 and Resident Evil Code Veronica X for the 360. I own these. Resident Evil Revival Selection. Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5 Gold Edition. This is what the Gold Edition has on it. Resident Evil 6. And last but not least, for the Xbox 360 Resident Evil games, Resident Evil 6 Archives. This is what the Archives has on it. They have different games than the Anthology has on the PS3. Different games. Different games. Alright, done with 360. Moving on to Xbox One. Next console. Resident Evil Origins Collection. Resident Evil 2 Remake. Resident Evil 2 Remake and Deluxe Edition. Basically all the DLC. Resident Evil 3 Remake. Resident Evil 4 2005 version. Resident Evil 5. This is basically comes with everything. Everything the Gold Edition comes with, all the DLC. Resident Evil 6 comes with all the DLC. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Deluxe Edition. Pan out. You can pause it and zoom in. Resident Evil Revelations. Got tongue twisted. And last but not least, for the Xbox One, Resident Evil Revelations 2. Now, Xbox Series X. Resident Evil 4 Remake. Resident Evil 4 Remake Gold Edition. This is a custom case. I just downloaded all the DLC and, I just went ahead and bought the case to represent that I do have the Gold Edition. I do have it. Everything the Gold Edition offers. Resident Evil Village. Resident Evil Village Gold Deluxe Edition. And this is what comes with it. And last but not least, for the Xbox Series X, Resident Evil Gold Edition. Resident Evil Village Gold Edition. And that's what comes on the Gold Edition. The same old things that came on the other console versions. Done with the Microsoft. Done with the Microsoft. Now moving on to, Nintendo. The very first Nintendo Resident Evil games that ever have been released. Resident Evil 2. I do plan to buy a box and everything, inserts and everything for this. I'm thinking about selling this and, putting money towards a box version of Resident Evil 2. So next time I do another Resident Evil video, you will see this box. I still have a lot more to buy. I will let everybody know what else I still have to buy to complete my collection. I don't buy variants. I don't buy outside of the USA region, so you would not see Biohazard anywhere in this collection. Yeah, and I do plan to buy all the PC versions. Resident Evil 0. The physical PC versions, because there are a bunch of downloads. I'm not really a PC gamer, so I don't really like to sit on PCs and play video games. Resident Evil Remake. The main reason why I got a GameCube. No, literally the main reason. Resident Evil 2. I bought all these when they came out. Right now, people are these things are crazy expensive. I bought these things that are literally under $50 a pop. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. Literally. I bought them as they came out. Literally. Because I was huge into Resident Evil. I've been huge into Resident Evil for years. So none of these games I paid a crazy amount for. The only game I spent a lot of money on, I'll let you know when I show it, is the most expensive game I have. But yeah, Resident Evil Code Veronica X. And last but not least, for the GameCube, Resident Evil 4 2005 version. This is the actual first original version of Resident Evil 4 to have ever come out. People are like, oh, you're missing the Chainsaw Edition, you're missing the Red Box, Collector's Edition, the Red 10. I'm thinking about getting those. Think about it. But there is a pure evil box set for the GameCube I truly want. I do want the box sets. I do. Now, starting with the Wii, Resident Evil Zero Archives. These are part of the archives. They came out for the Wii. There's only 2 that was released, and I have those 2. Resident Evil Archives again. This has Resident Evil HD, or excuse me, the Resident Evil Remake. This was an HD remake because the Wii wasn't an HD. It wasn't. They used component cables. Resident Evil, The Umbrella Chronicles. Resident Evil, the Dark Side Chronicles. And last, for the Wii, Resident Evil 4 2005 Wii Edition. And the only Resident Evil game that was released on the Wii U was Resident Evil Revelations. The only Resident Evil release on the Wii U. Now, last Nintendo console or handheld or whatever you want to call this. These are the ones I was talking about that are, you need to buy, download them or you gotta buy them brand new. Like, you got to. I bought this brand new because I have the downloads already. I do. And it tells you down here. So you all can know. So you all can know as viewers what you're buying when you buy this. This is the Resident Evil Origins Collection for the Switch. This has both of them on it. Here's another one. The Switch games are all like this. I can open this and show you. It's so hard doing this in one hand. That's a cartridge that comes with this. Resident Evil triple pack. That's Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6. So you all can know. I'm doing you all a favor, because there's people like that I want to buy these, but they have no idea if they're able to play these. They would more than likely want to pay 4. No one really cares for 5 and 6. Sheva's AI is horrible in 6. People can't stand. People hate that game with a passion. They say that's the worst Resident Evil in the entire series. I don't. I like it. Resident Evil Revelations Collection. This is Revelations 1 and 2. And again, I will show you exactly. This is a brand new version, so I'm not, opening the seal. It's brand new. I've downloaded it and boom, there we go. Now, let me share my few Resident Evil games on the Sega consoles. This is the only Resident Evil release on the Sega Saturn. Resident Evil 1. People love this version. It's an amazing version if you ask me, an amazing version. And that's my only one on Saturn. I will show you my Dreamcast Resident Evil games. Resident Evil 2 for Dreamcast. So fun playing these with the VMU. So fun. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. And last but not least for Dreamcast, Resident Evil Code Veronica. This is the original Code Veronica. before X came out. Now, my last part of my Resident Evil video game collection, my handheld Resident Evil games. You probably wondering where those at. Resident Evil Deadly Silence for the Nintendo DS. This was so fun. So fun. I enjoyed this so much. In my honest opinion, that it is the best version of the original Resident Evil ever. Best version. Resident Evil, the Mercenaries 3D for the Nintendo 3DS. That was. The last game was the only Nintendo DS Resident Evil game release in America. Resident Evil Revelations. And this does have misprint on this side. Revelations. Having so much trouble picking that back up. And this is the only Resident Evil released on the Vita. Resident Evil Revelations 2. I was surprised to see this on the Vita. A lot of people didn't like it. This is 100% real. A lot of people question this. So hard to maneuver this with one hand. But that's it right there. 100% real. And last but not least, for my Resident video game collection, and last and the most expensive, I paid $170 for this years ago. The book, everything is in it. Resident Evil Gaiden for the Game Boy Color. If you're wondering how in the world is that possible, there you go. This box has seen better days. Now, moving on to my Resident Evil films. Resident Evil. This was a very, 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 very first DVD I've ever received in my entire life. If you watch my first of everything video, then you would have known that. Resident Evil Apocalypse. I am so upset that I didn't get the slipcover with this, because there's that really cool slipcover, and I am a slipcover guy. I love slipcovers. Resident Evil Extinction. These are all my DVD Resident Evil movies. And last but not least, I do need to get the other ones. I do for DVD. For my Resident Evil collection. Resident Evil Afterlife. Now this last for the DVDs. Now moving on to the Blu-rays. Resident Evil 5 film collection. There you go. And last but not least, for the Mila Jovovich Resident Evil series. Resident Evil The Final Chapter 4K. Right. Now, this is a standalone film and it isn't connected to anything. I hated this so much. This was ridiculous. Welcome to Raccoon City. Okay. For those wondering, I think that's Chris. Hold on. Okay, I think that's Chris Redfield. Claire Redfield. Leon Kennedy. Joe Valentine. Albert Wesker. But I don't know if it's Wesker or Chris. That's how bad the characters are. It's hard to tell. It is insane. This movie was horribly casted. Horribly casted. Resident Evil Degeneration. DVD. Resident Evil Damnation. And these are the CGI films, the computer graphic films. Resident Evil Vendetta. When they get closer up to what the box art looks like, and that's still sealed because I watched that streaming. I streamed it because I didn't want to open it. So I literally bought that, and I bought the streaming, and I bought the movie to watch online. Same with this. I didn't want to open this. This is a steelbook. Resident Evil Dead Island. I didn't want to open this. Because I feel, in the future. Wow. I feel in the future, they will be worth a lot of money. So yeah, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. And that is last of my Resident Evil collection. That is last. Wow, I just had a huge accident. Gotta clean all of that up. Wow. Nothing broke. Thankfully. I'm looking at it right now. It all fell. Because I was showering everything, putting everything in the shower. But that there, folks, is my updated 2025 Resident Evil collection. Video games and movies. I will update it. I will get more. I am missing Resident Evil Premium Edition Steelbook for the PS2. Resident Evil Lone Box Edition, which, it's not a different game. It's just a variant case, a different case. But I feel it's still good to have it. It's the legit first Resident Evil game ever to hit the shelf, ever. So I feel I need that. I need that in my collection. Also, Resident Evil 2 DualShock for PS1. Resident Evil Essentials, which is a box set on PS2. Resident Evil Pure Evil for the GameCube. That is a box set as well. And I wanted to get the Steelbook for Resident Evil 5 for the PS3. There was a cool Steelbook for PS3 and 360. Really cool Steelbook for Resident Evil 5. And the GameCom. Forgot about that. The Resident Evil 2 on GameCom. Get that. So once I have all those, I'll be good to go. Get the PC versions, and I will have a 100% Resident Evil video game collection in America. So thank you all. My favorite Resident Evil game of all time that I can always go back and play is Resident Evil 3 Nemesis for the Dreamcast, PS1, GameCube. I can go back and play it anytime. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis is my all-time favorite Resident Evil game. Let me know in the comments below what is your favorite Resident Evil game. Let me know. Just jot it down. It's not that hard. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel. Please. I need the help. I need it. Thank you so much for viewing the video. This was a pretty long one, almost 40 minutes. But hey, we did it. We got through the whole collection of all of my Resident Evil stuff. I do have posters. I do have a rug, but I didn't want to get up and walk in there and show you my rug. I do have Resident Evil rug. I do have posters of Resident Evil in my room. But hey, I'm a huge fan. Been a fan since 1996. My very first Resident Evil game I ever received physically was Resident Evil 2 in 1998. That was the first one I beat. Leon Claire's campaign. Leon A, Leon B, Claire A, Claire B. Then I got Resident Evil 3 and became a beast. At Resident Evil 3, I could beat it almost with my eyes closed. I knew all the codes. I knew everything. How to kill enemies, bosses super fast. I had to learn everything you had to learn in Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. That's why that game is my favorite of all time. That's why. Out of the entire franchise. Excuse me. The Resident Evil franchise, Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, the OG, is my favorite. Favorite. Alright. Stop running my mouth. Collector 513 out.